Live from the Canadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines comes to you compliments Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you run it, we'll be right there with you. Wherever you run it, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, next day, oh.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
We're on the air with Network News for Thursday, April 20, 2023. In the headlines, the public testing the political temperature as intrigue builds in opposition camp. Police investigating violent episode between school children. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell highlights need for violence prevention in schools. Social media highlighted as a scourge, as a source of increased student conflict. Grenada waits the water genie as government laments loss of major water project. Regionally, Barbados' Prime Minister speaks out against music that denigrates women and promotes guns. Internationally, House Republicans pass transgender sports ban for schools. Plus in the sports news, Conference League playoffs moving full steam ahead. Hello everybody, I'm Kenroy, Baptiste, live at Television Center at the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Details when we return.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Thanks for joining us. Just how hot is it? Well, that depends on who you talk to nowadays. The question comes as the dust is kicked into the air nearly 1 year after Grenada held early general elections. GBN's Renapet Thomas tried to get a finger on the national political pulse today.
Many have been airing their opinion on social media and on current affairs programs on the recent saga between the parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest, Delma Thomas, and the new National Party. Thomas aired her side of the story publicly at a recent meeting in her constituency, noting a fallout of grace because of certain positions she articulated on the possible way forward for the party following its defeat at the 2022 polls. The issue have sparked much discussion and has been a trending topic in recent weeks. Here's what some had to say today.
I mean, Dr. Kid been leading for the last couple of years, and they needed somebody that is young and vibrant. You have people in the party that could do it, but in politics now, people just look at the amount of years they're serving the country and in politics, and if you choose a younger leader, it does have a little dispute in the party. A young, vibrant leaders of the Honorable Peter David, Honorable Emlyn Pierre, those are my 2 thoughts at the moment.
To be honest, I don't really say that, I mean, he's doing a tremendous job for the past years he have been there, so I think, mean, NEC in power now, so I guess, I mean, things might happen, but I believe if Kip Mitchell is in power, maybe better as how it usually be. I think the boss should be there still.
Age is a fact. I mean, you're too old to lead, but at the same time, you're dealing with a very youthful population, and considering the age of the population, you need a leader who basically is more in tune with the basic, you know, the majority of the citizens, because the majority of our citizens are maybe under the age of 40. So you need somebody who could keep up to the time, basically. You telling me that within the ranks of the NNP administration, there is no one who is capable of becoming a leader? That does not speak good for the leadership of the party. You're supposed to have someone that could walk in your footsteps. And if at that point in time now, 20, 30 years later, you still has not found someone that could take your position, what does that say about the party?
Some were reserved in their comments, expressing concern about being labeled with a political brush and being maligned. Nonetheless, they offered a few perspectives.
I take part in political affairs, but I also like talk much about politics, because I know when you talk about politics, they take it and they're brand new then. So everybody brand new. So I like to stay on neutral. Yeah.
I don't take part in politics. I can't answer that question, and I don't even watch the video.
The changing of the guard is an age-old dogma dating as far as 2013, when the electorate was told it would be the final run for office. As it has turned out that this is a discussion that may live on as a dream for several years to come, despite years of indication that a 76-year-old leader was ready to hang up his political boots and help mold and guide a younger successor. In 2022, the lingo was one for the road. Many wait with waiting breaths as they seek to observe how the story unfolds. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Now, a very frightening episode played out in the community of Boca St. George on Wednesday. 2 schoolboys were involved in a fracas there. One was left nursing serious air and bodily injuries, while the other also sustained injuries. GBN contacted the Royal Grenada Police Force today. Officers said that the matter has been drawn to their attention and an investigation has been launched. The gut-wrenching video emerged on social media highlighting 2 male students from a school in St. George involved in a scuffle with an unidentified weapon. One of the students sustained a serious injury to his left ear. His peers were heard screaming at the site of injury and calling for urgent medical attention. Officers of the Community Relations Department of the RGPF indicated to GBN that both students sustained injuries. One is hospitalized while the other is in police custody. In a recent interview, Assistant Commissioner of Police Vanny Cohen addressed the issue of violence among youth. He said a holistic approach was needed.
As violence among youths continue to be a serious issue within our society, another heart-wrenching video emerged on social media on Wednesday afternoon. The video showed 2 male students from a school in St. George involved in a scuffle with an unidentified weapon. This resulted in one of the students sustaining an injury to his left ear. Other students can be heard screaming at the site of the injury while urging him to get medical attention. Officers in the Community Relations Department of the RGPF revealed to GBN that both students sustained injuries from the incident. One is hospitalized while the other in police custody. In a recent interview with Assistant Commissioner of Police Vanny Cohen addressing the issue of violence among youth, he said a holistic approach needs to be taken in order to combat the issue.
That we are seeing requires a holistic approach, the whole of Grenada approach. You have social services that needs to get on board, you have the schools that need to get on board, you have the police force obviously. We are on the back end of this process. Back end meaning after the crime is committed we get involved, but we need to have preventative intervention from social services, from the schools, from NGOs, from families. We are particularly concerned because we see these things after a crime is committed. What can we do as a nation to ensure that the direction of young people is changed, that the quest for violence is diminished, and it's going to be a huge effort. This morning I've had
the incident between the students occurred on Wednesday evening in the village of Boca. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Meanwhile, the apparent increase in violence among students is not lost on Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. We link with Nisha Paul for his take on the subject matter.
Amidst increasing violence among the nation's youth, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the establishment of violence prevention programs in schools can play a crucial role in ensuring that young people, especially at-risk youth, are exposed to and taught how to master life skills such as conflict resolution, effective communication, and emotional intelligence. According to the Prime Minister, the Caribbean region has one of the highest rates of violent crimes in the world.
Our youth are particularly vulnerable to violence, with high rates of involvement in gang-related and interpersonal violence. Education is arguably the most powerful preventative method against crime and violence, providing young people with the knowledge and skills they need to pursue career opportunities, make informed decisions, resolve conflicts peacefully, and avoid involvement in violent behavior.
The Grenadian leader expressed this view in his remarks at CARICOM's just concluded symposium on crime and violence in the Caribbean, which was held in neighboring Trinidad and Tobago this week. He says more training is needed to address the issue of violence among youth.
Teachers and school staff should also be adequately trained in violence prevention strategies and equipped with the resources they need to address violence among their students. We also need to engage with our young people outside of the classroom. Mental wellness and opportunities for young people who have been exposed to violence at a young age to seek help, talk about their experiences, and develop mechanisms to cope are also important.
Prime Minister Mitchell says it is also necessary to establish community-based programs to provide support and resources to young people at risk of involvement in violence and crime.
These programs should focus on mentoring, the introduction of positive role models, and skill-building activities that promote positive decision-making and healthy relationships. Government also has a role to play in curbing violence and crime amongst youth through the creation and implementation of policies and programs that promote educational and development initiatives in at-risk communities. This includes funding violence prevention programs, developing and enforcing laws and regulations related to violence prevention, and coordinating efforts across different sectors.
Crime rates vary from country to country and are influenced by many factors. According to worldpopulationreview.com, the overall crime rate is calculated by dividing the total number of reported crimes of any kind by the total population, then multiplying the result by 100,000, because crime rate is typically reported as X number of crimes per 100,000 people. Statistics shows that Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Venezuela, and Guyana are among the countries with the 10 highest crime rates expressed in per 100,000 people globally. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Social media platforms have infiltrated all aspects of life. The platforms are viewed as channels through which young people are being influenced as they contemplate solutions to their conflicts. GBN's Nisha Peters has been examining the issue.
Young people are all too aware that the number of comments a post garners or how many people are watching a live stream can make it extremely difficult to pull out of a conflict once it starts. There is a growing concern across the region that the large technology companies behind social media apps need to be more tightly regulated. Much of the concerns has focused on the use of social media as a means to transmit violence. The use of social media came under the microscope during the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community CARICOM meeting on the occasion of the regional symposium to address crime and violence as a public health issue. The meeting, which took place in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago on April 17th to 18th, was alarmed by the epidemic of crime and violence in the Caribbean, fueled by illegal guns and organized organized criminal gangs as a threat to our democracy and the stability of our societies. During the roundtable discussion, social media was one of the topics discussed. Prime Minister Dika Mitchell says that the youth are more suitable to get the message across to their peers.
I think the starting point would be to ensure that we actually have more young people as the ones doing the talking and the communicating. Because I think and I consider myself young, so I'll exclude myself here. I think we talking to them suggests, which is understandable, being a traditional problem of we know what's better or we know what's best for them. And I think as much as social media could, in a sense, be viral for negative things, it could certainly be just as viral for positive things.
He believes that social media can also be used as an avenue to curb the youth violence in the Caribbean.
The use of social media has to be to encourage and reverse that cultural norm that it is okay to resolve conflicts. It is okay to pull social rank or status, particularly amongst young persons, by being violent. And I think, therefore, what we have to spend time on is content development developed by young persons. We can use the creative economy as one approach to do that. Arts, music, to re-engineer the behavior of the next generation of Caribbean citizens to say that there are alternatives to resolving conflict. There are alternatives to career paths that does not involve ultimately guns, drugs, and gangs.
The Prime Minister believes that there are avenues to use social media positively.
It's not going to be easy, but I think if we spend the time there, we are more likely to be able to have that behavioral change. And I believe that is where the public health issue comes in, to ensure that we are not always in response or reactive mode. Because once we talk in crime, once we talk in police, we are essentially talking after the fact. Because the violence has already happened, the crime is already happening. So I think certainly, as much as it is, in a sense, a sometimes wild west approach on social media, there are opportunities in my mind for us to use it positively.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Ju, had this to say on the matter.
Social media is being used as a means to transmit violence. We heard about the COVID virus, and it's transmitted if you cough, if you touch here and you touch there, it's transmitted. Violence can also be transmitted. And so one of the effective ways of transmitting violence, I'm just using what he said and putting it in medical terms, is that social media can become an excellent conduit to transmit violence, and people are using it.
The education systems to empower our citizens and better enable their socio-emotional development in recognition that the social and emotional learning of the child is as important as technical and academic achievements. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Students take on hot-button topics in nutrition as the GFNC holds annual competition. In a while, we'll tell you who this year's winner is. This is Network News.
Get ready to experience the ultimate Spice Mass launch 2023. On Friday, April 28th, the Stadium Car Park will be transformed into an electrifying arena of raw talent and energy. Starting at 5:30 p.m., you'll be blown away by the incredible lineup of artists set to grace the stage, including Boise, Terra the Governor, Lil Natty and Thunder, Lava Man, Looney Spark and Electrify, Jab King, Lil Kerry, Lil Jello, Dash, Crave, Mozo, Scala, and many more. But that's not all. Prepare to be amazed by the traditional mass, Moko Jumbies, Jab Jab, Short Knee, and Veko. Plus, your reigning Panorama champs, Co-op Bank Comancheros, will also be there to add to the excitement. And the best part, it's completely free. The Stadium Car Park is the place to be on Friday, April 28th. Get ready for an epic night that you'll never forget. Spice Mass, the evolution.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
A home should always be safe for you and your children. So remember to have your electrician check your wiring every 5 years and keep cords and wires out of the reach of children.
We even added circuit interrupters in the bathroom and kitchen and any place where water and electricity are close.
Remember, children, never touch electrical cords and wires and never put objects into sockets.
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
This Mother's Day, give your mom the gift of music, love, and excitement with Sunshine Promotions Night of Love concert featuring the incredible Christopher Martin, Sanchez, and Vaughn. But that's not all. When you purchase your Night of Love ticket, you will automatically be entered into our Mother's Day sweepstakes. Win a Samsung Galaxy smartphone and more. Each week leading up to the event, we will be giving away fantastic prizes contributed by our event partners, including gift certificates, product vouchers, and service vouchers. And the best part, you can give the prize to your amazing mother or keep it for yourself. But remember, you must have a Night of Love ticket to win. So what are you waiting for? Get your Night of Love ticket today and be automatically entered into our Mother's Day sweepstakes. Visit GoToFed.com or any island-wide ticket outlet to purchase your tickets now. Terms and conditions apply.
Happiness is when cooking isn't a chore. Bring happiness to your home. Get up to 30% off on selected items. Get it now, pay later. Whatever your happiness is, we can help. Court, bringing value home. Offer ends April 30th, 2023. Conditions apply.
Is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more. With Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Apply for a Home Easy Loan today for a chance to win a cash prize. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the event you've been waiting for. The event of the century. It's the massive Cars and Cash Mega Bingo. Sunday, May 7th from 5 p.m. Where? At the National Stadium. And this year you can win not 1, not 2, not even 3 or 4, but 5 Suzuki Swift Sports.
I don't think I heard that correctly. Tell me again slowly.
You can win 5 Suzuki Swift Sports. Yeah! Wait, come back. That's not all. Plus $25,000 in cash.
No way.
Tickets Tickets are $60 for one or $100 for two.
This is crazy.
5 cars plus $25,000 in cash. This will definitely be the event of the century.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think of Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Apply for a Home Easy Loan today for a chance to win a cash prize. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Terms and conditions apply.
Network News, welcome back. Many have resorted to hoping and praying as dams evaporate in a very arid season of the year. Renapet Thomas reports.
A grant of $30 million under the UK SIF project has been lost by the NDC government due to the past NMP administration's failure to implement the projects. The fund was lost because, among other things, it was not implemented in a timely manner. One of the main project arteries expanded the West Coast into the city of St. George. Implementation Minister Andy Williams, who indicated that the plan would have covered Concord to St. George, but sadly, boots were not on the ground and the funding was repossessed.
We had funding from UKSIF to do a water expansion project and to do the Western Main Road. That was on the books for years now. Under the previous administration, nothing was done. Right? As a matter of fact, we were about probably a year and a half behind schedule when it came to implementation. Last year, because what was going on with the UK, they decided to cut back on grants and so all over, well, outside where they made commitments. Now, if we had signed that contract before, they would have honored it. But because it was not signed and everything was not in place, they took it back because the project was not implemented in a timely manner.
The project aimed to improve Grenada's water and sewage network by increasing efficiency, building climate resilience, and reducing water sector risk. It was expected to result in an expansion and upgrade of Concord's existing distribution network by constructing a new plant and storage facility. The minister said that his administration tried their best to save the funding for the project, but was unsuccessful.
No, the Ministry of Infrastructure tried, the Ministry of MIT tried. We tried to do our best to see how we can save it, but we could not save it. Right? And this is why the Ministry of MIT is so important to work with other ministries to ensure that we have a better implementation rate so that we do not lose grants and so in the process. Because right now, if we lost a grant, in order for us to do the project, we have to go and get a loan to do it. And the grant was free money.
In an earlier interview on GBN's To The Point program on Wednesday, the minister said that this is not the only grant funding that was not implemented, but reassures the public that his office is on top of things.
Government priority projects gets done. Now imagine last year, up to last year, we had World Bank projects that approximated, let's say, $100 million. Over 4.5 years, we only spent $13 million out of $100 million.
Nothing was done.
Nothing was done. Now, when this ministry came into operation, we tackled it straight away. And right now, you have funds being used from those projects. Now,
the loss of the project has been a major source and shame and hardship for the Grenadian people. For umpteen years, people have been complaining about inadequate water supplies, especially during the official dry season. On a daily basis, callers on GBN current affairs programs, Good Morning Grenada, and the To The Point program are heard lamenting instances where they are forced to go without potable water for 2 or more weeks on end. In other instances, people are complaining about the color and the poor quality of the water emanating from the taps. Minister Williams told GBN that this is a regrettable state of affairs, but the NDC administration continues to place priority on this very important commodity. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
All right, so while many await the water genie, you will not be allowed to light bush or any other fires. You see, the Ministry of Agriculture announced a no-burn policy today. The ministry said that following consultations with the fire department of the RGPF, burn permits will not be issued with immediate effect and until further notice. It explained that this is necessary due to the extreme dry spells being experienced and the predictions of dry weather conditions for the upcoming months. The public will be advised when burn permits will again be issued. Be reminded in the meantime that in accordance with the Agricultural Fires Act, Continuous Revised Laws of Grenada, any person desirous of setting fire on land which is under cultivation or in the course of preparation for agricultural purposes must apply in writing to the Chief Extension Officer or any officer authorized by the Chief Extension Officer for a license to set a fire. Any person who sets fire to or procures, aids or abets the setting of fire on any land without the appropriate permit can be both fined and imprisoned. Furthermore, the laws of Grenada require every person who intends to set fire or to cause a fire to be set to give notice to all neighboring households. The penalty for non-adherence to the situation shall be a fine of $500 and imprisonment of up to 3 months. The crown has been transferred. We are referring here to one of the most intellectually stimulating events on the academic calendar. This year saw the largest participation among primary schools in the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council's Primary School Quiz. Christina John has the results of this year's competition.
Winners shied away from the lens of the GBN camera despite their winnings. However, it was a day of keen competition among the 10 schools vying for the title Grenada Food and Nutrition Council champion. Limes Mennonite School took away the title from last year's champion, the Woburn Methodist, by a mere 5 points. The Mennonites scored 75 points, leaving Woburn Methodist to settle in second place on 70 points. Third place went to the St. Joseph's RC School, Pomeroy St. David, on 67.5 points. This year, 15 schools were slated for participation. However, only 10 showed up for the competition. Communications Officer at the GFNC, Lichelle Murray, says they have seen growth in the competition this year, as demonstrated in the number of school participation. One school on the sister isle of Petite Martinique participated virtually.
So for today's competition, we had 5 rounds. However, because of the number of schools participating, we decided that after the first 3 rounds of competition, we would select the top 5 schools and they would then move on to the final phase of the competition, which would be rounds 4 and 5, after which we'll determine a winner. Coming out of the first 3 rounds of competition, the 5 schools moving on to the final phase were Limes Mennonite, Paraclete Government School, St. Joseph's RC School, St. Louis Roman Catholic Girls, and Woburn Methodist.
Students were selected from grades 3 to 5. According to Murray, this competition is being used as a precursor to the CPA exams and as well a means of educating students on nutrition, healthy lifestyle choices. Participants were quizzed on several areas as it relates to food and nutrition, and in particular, home economics.
Areas for today's competition were healthy lifestyle choices. That's a general topic. We covered kitchen safety, food safety as well. So there we dealt with things as it relates to food contamination, bacteria that would be present in the food. We also dealt with nutrients and their functions, nutrition and food sources, nutrition deficiencies, as well as some personal hygiene and grooming questions as well.
The final of the competition was held at the Grenada Youth and Cultural Center with a prize-giving ceremony thereafter. Christelina John, GBN News.
The Ministry of Youth has announced the appointment of 2 CARICOM youth ambassadors. This is what we know. The instruments of appointment were presented to youth ambassadors Giselle Nichols and Joshua Andal. Their appointed designates are Abigail Ellis and Raheem Smith. The ambassadors and their designates received their instruments of appointment on Wednesday during an official ceremony at the Grenada Youth and Cultural Center. They will serve in the role for the period November 1, 2023 to November 31, 2025. The CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program is the community's mechanism for deepening levels of youth participation and partnership in regional integration and development. It also seeks to bridge the gap between national and regional levels of decision-making and implementation of the community's priority actions. This evening's I Saw takes us on a rich historical musical journey. My colleague Joseph Cadeau walks us down memory lane with a gaze toward the future.
A good eye captures all. GBN I Saw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
This organist isn't just sitting around idly as you may think. He's actually back on the job. He said as chief organist, it's so good to be back on the newly restored 126-year-old Beverton and Sons of London pipe organ, which was severely damaged during Hurricane Ivan in 2004. Within the last year, David Burke, organ builder of Barbados, started the installation and restoration of this ornamental and antique relic, which is now the only functioning pipe organ in Grenada. Inspired since the 1970s by Valerie Steele, organist extraordinaire at St. George's Anglican, and tutored by Mary Fletcher much later. After all these years, he says he continues to enjoy playing what is indisputably the king of instruments. Send your photos and video submissions to our ISAW line at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Good to see Richard Strawn is back at it. Still ahead in the news, reparations group to be launched.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
It's Weather Guard Pro. For every project, there's only one pro.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
And so it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
We're back. Monday, April 24 will see the launch of a group in London to further strengthen the Caribbean's lobbying efforts for reparative justice. Nisha Paul tells us more.
According to Chairman of the Grenada Reparations Commission, Arlie Gill, the group will be launched by Laura Trevelyan and other like-minded persons from families who have benefited from slavery and the slave trade.
They are launching what is referred to as the Heirs of Slave Owners in London, which Laura is playing a leading role in with regards to lobbying the British government and the royal family and other institutions like the Lloyds of London and so on to apologize and to make repair for their role during the Atlantic slave trade and slavery.
The former BBC presenter rallied several members of her family to sign a historic letter of apology and traveled to Grenada to publicly apologize for their family's involvement in enslaving Africans on the island. Gill says she has been making significant strides in Great Britain since becoming a roving advocate on the campaign to secure financial reparations for the Caribbean from former colonial powers.
What we have witnessed coming up from that is the very issue that we just spoke about with the King Charles cooperating with the research and opening the archives. 1 year, 2 years ago, the discussion with regards to reparative justice was not happening within the walls of the Buckingham Palace. So that what we are witnessing now is that this discussion on reparative justice is not just on the streets and in the corners of St. George's and Bridgetown and Kingstown, but it is now happening and taking place within the Buckingham Palace.
Gill says the commission welcomes everyone who sees the light and is willing to work along with the commission to ensure that justice is eventually done.
The more voices we can have, the more hands we can count, the more institutions that come on board and persons that come on board, regardless of class, regardless of race, persons recognizing that what this Atlantic slave trade and slavery What it was is really a crime against humanity, and coming forward to assist in whatever way. We applaud these efforts.
According to Gill, a forum will be held in the coming days to educate people on the work of the commission.
We'll be having a forum that we call Let's Chat Reparations. And the general public in Grenada is welcome to that session at 6 p.m. at the National Museum. This is where we sit down and we discuss issues around reparations. We share with the general public what we are doing about our work. And at the same time, too, we are opening our doors to volunteers who may wish to join and so on and so forth. So we do have this very important session next Tuesday, the 25th at 6 p.m. at the National Museum, and all of Grenada again is invited.
For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
We're coming up to a break. This one to report the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association wants to ensure that it is not only about sea, sand and spices. If someone gets into an emergency, it will like people involved in the industry to get into life-saving mode. It has been holding a series of life-saving first aid and CPR training sessions. The sessions are being held at the Grenada Red Cross Society building at Upper Lucas Street. Christina John has that story.
Knowing what to do and how best to do it in cases of an emergency is crucial to saving lives. Over 70 participants took part in a training exercise this week aimed at empowering individuals, especially in the tourism industry, with the necessary skills to handle medical emergencies. With tourism being one of Grenada's most important sectors and a thriving tourism industry, training personnel in first aid is vital to ensure the safety of businesses, visitors, and the Grenadian community. Arlene Friday, CEO of the GHTA, highlighted the significance of this training, stating, and I quote, "By providing this training, we are actively crafting a safer Grenada for everyone. Our tourism industry thrives on the island's reputation as a safe and welcoming destination," unquote. One of the participants, in underscoring the significance of first aid education, says they will recommend this to everyone and believes that all organizations with employees should give them the opportunity to learn first aid. It's vitally important as one can never predict when emergencies may arise. This comprehensive training covered a wide range of topics, such as responding to sudden medical emergencies, performing CPR on children, adults, and babies, mastering the use of automated external defibrillators, the ADs, and attending to wounds. Participants were exposed to the practical aspects, practicing essential skills and techniques on life-form figures provided by the Grenada Red Cross Society. The sessions were led by certified instructors with attendees from the local community, as well as members of hospitality departments, accommodation, restaurants, tour operators, and taxi drivers. The training took place from April 18th to the 20th. Christina John, GBN News.
Coming up in the sports news, Conference League playoffs moving full steam ahead. Stay with us.
Here's what customers had to say about Domus Windows and Doors.
The service was excellent with Domus.
Excellent customer service.
Just out of frustration, searching, and just came across you, and I think it was the best, one of my best find ever.
A good feature is that I didn't have to install any burglar proofing on the door because they have laminate glass.
The manufacturing time was on point.
Thanks for what you all are doing. I will continue to be a customer.
Visit Caribbean Shutters, Windows and Doors for Domus quality UPVC solutions.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Granville, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Sporting fans, good evening. Friday will see day 1 of active competition in the 2023 Alba Games in Caracas, Venezuela. The games were officially opened on Wednesday. A 24-member contingent spanning boxing, table tennis and volleyball will represent Grenada. Cullen Peters, coordinator of sports, is part of Grenada's contingent.
We are in 3 different disciplines: volleyball, male and female, boxing, and table tennis, male and female, doubles and singles. The training, we have been here from the 18th. We have been training, the teams have been training morning and afternoon, and is preparing for the beginning of the competition tomorrow. We attend the opening ceremony yesterday with 5 persons as was requested. We are well taken care of, providing all our needs and our opportunity to train and even to interact with other persons in our sporting discipline and the training venues. The athletes are high in spirit and expected to go there and perform well. We are taking up the opportunity to build our sport. We are also here at some of our neighboring islands, some of the Window Islands. Dominica is here, St. Lucia, St. Vincent. They all come here to compete.
According to Peters, the games provide opportunities to many athletes to sharpen their skills. Last held in 2011, the meet will be held in Caracas, and it's been held in Caracas from April 21 to 29. The Alba Games will consist of 35 events. As many as 3,500 athletes representing 11 countries are expected to participate in the upcoming competition. Venezuela last hosted the Alba Games in 2011. Grenada Football Association has introduced a longer version to its 2023 Sandals National Under-15 Boys Tournament, announced in a launch earlier this week. The tournament provides junior footballers on island with an avenue to develop and showcase their skills. 20 teams are participating in this year's tournament.
We have 20 registered teams. The teams will be divided into 2 groups, 10 and 10. After they would have played a round-robin type league, the top 8 teams, so 4 and 4 teams, will go into a quarterfinals, and then a semi-finals, and then a finals. So that'll be the structure of the competition. As I said, in terms of the league itself, we expect all the teams to be able to play all the teams in their respective groups, and then we go into the playoff situation, starting with the top 8 teams.
GFA President Marlon Glean talking there. He expressed excitement in the rollout of the 2023 season.
Sometime last year, we said that the focus have to be on youth football, on youth competition, and on youth development. So the U15 Cup is a very important cup, is a very important fixture within the whole development agenda of the Grenada Football Association. It's where we get to first identify our future budding talent, and it's an opportunity for us to keep an eye on our first introduction to some players and see them blossom and grow over the years.
The Sandals GFA National Under 15 tournament will be launched on Saturday, April 22 at the Cuthbert Peters Park in Guave, St. John, beginning at 2:30 in the afternoon. Well, Sunsetters FC, SAFL, St. David FC and Shamrock FC all registered wins in the opening round of matches in the Conference League playoffs. The playoffs officially kicked off this week with Sunsetters FC beating Happy Hill FC 3-2 and SAFL getting the better of GBSS 3-1. The RGPF St. David FC clash ended with a 4-3 defeat for the Lawmen, while Shamrock came away with a 3-0 victory over Fontenoy. Playoff action will continue this weekend with a number of scheduled matches. We can tell you too, the winner of the Conference League playoffs will earn the rights to play in the Premier League next season. That's the sports news for now. Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has spoken out against Caribbean music that denigrates women and promotes guns. The Barbadian leader was speaking at the Regional Symposium on Violence as a public health issue, the crime challenge in Trinidad and Tobago.
So I asked myself in the deconstruction, who is owning the struggle? Who else is owning this strike? It can't be about governments, as Deacon said. We need to be talking to the young people. We need to be talking to the artists. We need to be talking to the sportsmen. I used to manage a band, love music. But you cannot have Caribbean music denigrating women and promoting guns to the extent to which it is doing. And this has nothing to do with curtailing anybody's freedom of speech. It has to do with the mirror image, as Erabara would say. What do you look into the mirror and see? And at the end of the day, if we're looking into the mirror and only seeing women as an object, then that is how people are going to treat them in our societies.
The Tobago House of Assembly has approved $3 million for the 2023 Tobago Jazz Experience, which will kick off on Thursday. The Jazz Experience will begin with the first ever gospel jazz event, followed by a free show at the Boku Integrated Facility.
$3 million has been approved by the Tobago House of Assembly for the 2023 Tobago Jazz Experience, which will kick off on Thursday. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, who spoke to the media during Wednesday's post-executive media briefing, shared a different approach has been adopted.
expect the jazz cost to be above 3 million. 3 million we have given to the Festival Commission to execute at the start. They have to drive up sales for tickets, use the revenue from the tickets to do the rest of their payments, and then we will come in on the back end to treat with the excess.
Mr. Augustine said ticket sales are at 60% based on his most recent check last week. He informed, however, moving forward, a different model will also be used in the hosting of the Tobago Jazz Experience.
So that it will make sense and sense, both the sense with a S and with a C. I can already tell you that already the THA is looking to partner with private promoters to have this festival. There is no reason why the THA has to 100% run a jazz festival.
The Jazz Experience, which will begin with the first ever gospel jazz event, followed by a free show at the Bucco Integrated Facility. Then on Saturday, it will be a reggae vibe at Speyside, and the event will culminate on Sunday for the International Night at Parade Grounds in Bacolette.
Internationally, the Republican-controlled House passed legislation on Thursday that would ban transgender women and girls from competing in female school athletics, the latest GOP salvo in the intensifying cultural wars over transgender rights in America. The bill would amend Title IX to bar schools that receive federal funding from allowing people whose sex is male to participate in sports designated for women or girls.
Well, as I said earlier, today is a great day for America. For fairness, for families, and most importantly, for female athletes. House Republicans pledged before the last election their commitment to America to protect women and girls in sports. Today we kept that promise. I want to thank Greg Steube. He has fought long and hard to make sure this bill worked through. Why? Because he watched in his own district the unfairness. He watched women who would wake up early in the morning and train from a young age, sacrifice, only to find a biological man to compete. That was wrong, and we all know it's wrong. Unfortunately, today on the floor, not one Democrat could stand up for Title IX or stand up for women in sports. I believe that's wrong. And behind me today are just a few of the women that have experienced this. Macy Petty, Selena Soul, and Taylor Silverman. And there are so many more. These incredible women have dedicated their lives to the sports they love. We've watched it hearing after hearing to hear their stories. For years of waking up early and training late into the evening, they pushed themselves to the limit that's humanly possible, made sacrifice, and they never gave up. They strived for excellence, and they achieved it. And they learned the value of teamwork and hard work. But because they were forced to compete against biological men, they lost out on opportunities that they deserved. They watched their peers lose out on opportunities they deserved as well. So these women did something courageous. They spoke out. They spoke out for equal opportunity, for privacy, for safety, for truth, for everything the previous generations of women who fought hard for Title IX. They are the current champions of those women 50 years ago who fought for equality, who fought for fairness in sports. And today, they had victory. Today, while the left tries to silence them, intimidate them, they will not be intimidated. Not for themselves, but just like the women 50 years ago. They're going to stand for fairness, they're going to stand for the next generation, and they're going to stand for what is exactly right.
A reminder of the headlines after this. We have to leave you now, but first a reminder of the headlines. The public testing the political temperature as intrigue builds in opposition camp. Police investigating violent episode between school children. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell highlights need for violence prevention in schools. Social media highlighted as a source of increased student conflict. Grenada waits the water genie as government laments loss of major water project. Regionally, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Motley speaks out against music that denigrates women and promotes guns. Internationally, House Republicans pass transgender sports ban for schools. Plus in the sports news, Conference League playoffs moving full steam ahead. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. That's all from us on the GBN Newsroom for the moment. Thanks for having joined the broadcast. Have a good night.